Welcome, Chief, with your team. Okay, this is Committee on Finance and ICT, and we are here to meet with your department to discuss ADP. Before we proceed, we'll do introduction. I'm Karen Odhiambo, Chair of Finance and ICT Committee, a member representing Shauri Moyo Kaloleni Ward. With me is my Deputy Chair, Honorable Lord. Can you introduce yourself?
Good morning. My name is Lumumba Wade, Deputy Chair of this committee, and also MCA representing Southeast Nyakash. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And our visitors, good morning. My name is Benson Ambuti Adega, member of County Assembly representing Kajulu Ward, and also a member of this Finance Committee. Feel most welcome. Thank you.
My name is Setho Kumu, MCA East Seme.
My name is Ken Ouko, West Kisumu Ward, member of the Finance Committee.
Honorable James Omolo, member of this committee.
I want to give our clerk this opportunity to introduce the Secretariat.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Edwin Omolo. I'm the committee clerk for the Sectoral Committee on Finance and ICT. With me, I have a team of Secretariat. From the other side, we have CPM Olena Chayo. The gentleman who is standing is Mr. Odegi Abraham, who is our Sergeant at Arm. On the farthest end, we have Mr. Zablon Utiende, our one-side rapporteur. Then on my left side, we have Mr. Calvin Sodhiambo, who is also our Secretariat. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, as I said before, that we are here to discuss ADP. What's I'm not seeing our Waziri. I'll give you the opportunity to introduce your team and maybe tell us whether it's on its way coming or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Martin Nakodopio. I'm the Acting Chief Officer of Finance and ICT. Waziri, the CCM of Finance, Economic Planning and ICT Services, has been engaged in some crisis meeting at the Revenue Board, and he promises that will join us as soon as it's done.
Okay, you can proceed with the introduction.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Wilson Abiero, the Acting Chief Officer in charge of Economic Planning.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Amorina Ward, Director ICT.
Morning. My name is Baridi Manyasi, Director M&A.
Good morning, Chair and the team. My name is Leonard Kwamo, Director Statistics.
Okay, without wasting time, we'll just go straight away to the program. Chief, we'll start by reviewing the previous CADP for the financial year 2023-2024. And I suggest we do it per program. Program number 1 will go to financial management, followed by program number 2, planning and policy formulation, and then ICT, technology, and e-government services. And then lastly, you'll tell us the status of capital and non-capital projects, finance for the finance economic planning from your department. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In response to the first, issue, that is discuss the performance of review of Kisumu County Annual Development Plan 2023-2024 and the major challenges encountered. Madam Chair, the Kisumu County Annual Development Plan 2023-24, the department strive to achieve its goals of contributing to prudence in financial management and planning for sustainable development. As a result, the key area priority included improving public financial management, improving policy planning, budgeting, and M&E, enhancing service delivery through digitization and automation of government services, and strengthening county statistical system. As a result, the performance of these sector programs and projects are provided in table 1 and 2 of our report.
Point of order, Chief. Do you have a copy of that to share with us?
Yes, I do. Can I table it?
Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Now, under program name financial management, the objective was to improve financial management, and the outcome is improved financial management. Under the first sub-program, that is resource mobilization and revenue collection, the key output under this sub-program is the amount of on-source revenue realized. And the key performance indicator is the amount of on-source revenue collected in Kenya shillings. In the year under review, the county targeted to collect a revenue of 2.2 billion, out of which 1.4 billion was realized. The target was not met due to structural challenges that the county continues addressing. Under sub-program number 2, accounting services, the key output is the fiscal discipline enhanced, and the key performance indicator under that sub-program is the financial report prudence. And then the county targeted to produce 4 reports, out of which all the 4 financial reports were produced and submitted to the relevant authorities in time. So in that regard, we achieved the target. Under the sub-program, asset management services, the key output here is the risk policy document, and the key performance indicator is the number of policy documents. We plan to develop 1 policy, that's the risk policy document, which is still yet to be approved. Under the sub-program, risk register for the entities county, the key output indicator is the number of register.
A point of order, Chief. As we move on, I can see under accounting services, then it is noted here that you did not achieve it. Maybe you tell us the reason why as we move on. No, not sorry. It is asset management and asset management services, and then yet to be achieved. Can you tell us more about it?
It has already been developed.
Yeah, we are humbly requesting if they have a soft copy of that document that you are referring to, so that it can be shared with the members, because other than that, it will be a discussion between you as the document and the chief officer, who also has a copy.
Sorry, Honorable Seth, you are a visitor, and our members have it. They have a soft copy on their mobile. Proceed. Meanwhile, if you have a soft copy, it can also be shared. Do you have it, Chief?
Okay, Madam Chair, we have a soft copy.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know. We will share through who?
Through the clerk?
Through the clerk.
Yeah.
Clerk,
But
you
on
can-
Bladega, they are more or less the same. Whatever we have here, the ICT members, it is just the same, whatever is reading, unless we share with our friends. Yeah. It is the same.
That's why you ask for the copy.
Confirmed? Yes. You can proceed, Chief.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As I proceed, maybe just for clarification, you raised a question that I didn't get clear.
I asked that there are some things that are yet to be achieved. So as you present, you need to tell us more why it was not achieved, yet to be approved. Why? What happened? Risk policy document.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The risk policy document has been developed and is now at 78% completion. It was not achieved within the financial year due to the financial constraint. But we have provided the resources and we are sure that we'll conclude on it before or within the second quarter of this financial year.
Honorable members, Chief is responding to my question. I hope you have understood. So you cannot, just in case you have any concern. It is due to financial constraint. That is why it was not done. Okay, proceed.
Now, under sub-program, risk register for the entire county.
Just a question. You said due to financial constraint, right? What was the budget allocation for that particular project? Was it budgeted for?
Yes, Madam Chair, it was budgeted for, but in the supplementary, the budget was not provided because of the low possibility of realizing the on-source revenue. Yes.
Thank you. Proceed.
Now, under asset management, under the risks register for the entity county sub-program, the key outcome is the number of risk registers. The target for the last financial year that they under review was 1, and this equally has been developed and awaiting approval, and the same justification I gave for the above policy applies in the same. Under the sub-program asset management policy, the indicator is the number of policies. We targeted 1 that was achieved. In 2018, we developed a policy in use. The 2018 policy that was developed does not meet the threshold, hence reviewing to mirror the National Treasury policy. The under sub-program recruitment of 2 additional staff members. They indicated the numbers of staff. We targeted 2, but none was recruited or deployed. So under the pending bill, the amount, under the pending bill sub-program, amount is the key indicator. Under the year,
Sorry, Chief, for interjection.
yes,
I can see under recruitment of 2 additional staff members. If we check under key performance indicators, number of staff, then planned was supposed to be 2, achieved, you have written 0, and then remarks, you say only 1 deployed.
thank you, Madam Chair. The plan was to recruit, but we did not recruit any. We only deployed those who had already been recruited were within our system. We did not recruit any.
So you need to correct that. It should appear none was deployed, not only 1.
That's noted.
Okay. Yes.
If this was budgeted for, what happened to the money which was meant for this kind of engagement? Because none was actually employed for that purpose, and it was reflected in the budget for the said financial year. What actually happened to that money now?
I'll request that query to be responded to by my colleague.
Okay, Mr. Beer, proceed.
Thank you, Chair. There was a time we used to have director in charge of asset management, but there was some reorganization, and that is how the director of finance came on board. And asset management was to be a unit.
Use your mic,
Okay,
kindly.
sorry. Asset management was to be a unit under director of finance. We planned to recruit 2 staff to carry out functions of that unit. However, we did not budget for the recruitment. So as a stopgap measure, that is why we are saying that only 1 day was deployed. As a stopgap measure, we identified, a staff with asset management skill to cover the duties. So the point is there was no budget for recruitment.
So you are taking us back to our question. Was 1 staff deployed or it was none?
1 existing staff, not recruited, but from amongst the existing staff, 1 was taken to the unit to carry the duties as a stopgap measure.
In this column of remarks, to say only 1 was deployed, or as far as the remarks go, should be none, because there was a staff in existence.
Thank you, Chair. I think we stand corrected. We take it positively. We take that suggestion positively. So we'll correct that before the final.
Yeah, no recruitment was done.
Yeah, yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oko, proceed. You had a question?
Chair, we understand there was a deployment of an officer to another on acting capacity. See, that's right. The person was now acting as director on that department. You said asset management director in charge of asset management and was not there. So you identify a staff within the system to act. Is the director still acting?
Thank you, Honorable. what I said is that initially we had a directorate, which was scrapped, and the asset management now is a unit. So we can have a sectional head for that unit, but we don't have an officer acting as a director. So we have a sectional head covering the duties of asset management, not as director.
Noted. You can proceed, Chief.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the last sub-program under the program financial management is the pending bill. It's the payment of pending bills. Under the year under review, the county treasurer or the Kisumu County executive managed to pay.
A point of order, Chief.
Yes.
According to this document we have, under payment of pending bills, it is dash. It is, there's nothing indicated. You need to assist us to put it here, to fill in the blank space.
Oh. Okay, Madam Chair, I'm sorry for that omission, but I have the figures with me here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now
maybe
you
the
can-
time the document being printed, I had not provided the figures.
Right. You're saying there was an omission in this payment of pending bills, and now you have it in figures.
Yes, I do have the figures.
Okay.
Madam Chair, maybe just to clarify something.
Okay.
This omission was not.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm saying just to clarify something. This omission might have arose from the secretary might have printed the first draft of the report. But the figures, I have them here in my record, which are the two figures. I can.
No problem, Chief. Just go ahead and tell us. We insert the figures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam. So, under the year under review, we plan to pay pending bills of 900 million as per the approved budget, out of which we managed to pay pending bills amounting to Kenya shillings 848 million, 900 million.
And you managed?
And we paid 848 million, 177,697.84.
Come again?
848 million, 177,697.84.
Okay.
This accounted for 94.2% of development pending bill burn rate. 94.2%.
Proceed. Okay. Chief, can you provide us with the list of those contractors who were paid and the remaining if you are please?
Yes, Madam Chair, I can provide the list. The list is there for all the contractors that were paid.
We are happy to receive it because right now we have a statement concerning the same. So it is good if we go ahead and prepare a report which is going to concur with the same statement.
Okay,
List of the contractors remaining and those who have been paid.
Yes, the list is there. If you allow me, I can provide it once we are done with the session.
No
I
problem.
did carry it, yeah.
No problem.
Okay, Madam Chair.
We move to program 2, that is planning and policy formulation, unless one of my colleagues has a question or any concern. Vice Chair.
Concern with resource mobilization and revenue collection. Your target was 2.2 billion. And you achieved 1.4 billion. That's number one, right? Yeah, and we also received the exchequer allocation. Is that true? The donor money also came. We had a budget of about 13 billion, right? So did you receive all the expected amount less 800 from ONSAS revenue? If so, would it be proper if I say that if in any case we have any pending bill, it should be emanating from ONSAS revenue, which is about 800 million?
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. As I had explained, we have a number of issues surrounding around the non-realization of the ONSAS revenue. And I cannot say that the value of pending bill is only attributed to the shortfall in revenue. There could also be other factors that contribute to the pending bill, not only the ONSAS revenue.
I'm particularly concerned with 2023-2024.
Yes, that's what I'm responding to. There could be other factors. I know the value might not be like the way now you want to put it, that the shortfall in ONSAS revenue could be the total value of the pending bill that was carried forward.
Yeah.
But I find that's more than that.
To cut the long story short is, we know from the budget, the financing of the budget, this was coming from COSIP, this was coming from KSUP, this was coming from ONSAS revenue. After the end of financial year, you received this and you did not receive this. From where I sit, I can tell, and it is obvious that you did not receive 800 from ONSAS revenue. Which other ones did you not receive to inform us of what ought to be the pending bill?
Chief, do you get his question? Yeah.
Madam Chair, if you can allow us to respond to that later, so that we give facts. We don't want to just give unverified responses to this honorable House.
It is in order.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Honorable Ouko.
Madam Chair, we overprojected on revenue collection on source to 2 point something, and we did not reach the target. We got 1.1. How is this affecting development, allocated money for development for the coming year or this year, the coming ADP? And I can give an instance where in the budget we recommended for 250 ECD teachers, something like that. And you can see now what we can employ. Again, we recommended for some more kanjo because we were seeing the kind of projected on-source revenue. How is that affecting our development budget? And what measures are you taking? Because already the citizen and the assembly and everybody was lied to that we can collect that amount of money. And now we're basing our budget on what the projection, which was assured will obviously come in. And we did the budget, you know what happened. What can we talk about that? What can you say about that? Because it's a scenario which is affecting, I believe it is going to affect every sector. But it is important that you come clear on the repercussions.
Yes, I just want to echo what my colleague has just said. You see, Chief, we plan to collect 2.2 billion, and whatever we achieved is 1.4. That is much far below our target. Moving forward, what are your plans for us to achieve our goal? What have you put in place? Because it seems under on-source revenue, we are not performing so well. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In response to the first part of the question, that is what are the implications of not achieving the on-source revenue? Madam Chair, it is true that shortfall in on-source revenue has adverse effect on the development of the county as a whole. And this adverse effect can be demonstrated in first slow implementation of the development project where funds are not available. We also keep on pushing forward some of the projects due to the non-availability of non-realization of the fund. And we also have reduced development rate to the county as a whole, and this affects both development as well as the supply. And we're also experiencing the same in the delays of the salaries to the employees, in which we have been somehow been tied to the disbursement from the National Treasury, that is on the equitable share, for us to meet some of these critical expenditures. Now, moving ahead, that's the second part of the question, the strategy that we put in place. And I want to say that's the reason why even the CC member of finance is not here, is at the board. He is really passionate about revamping our on-source revenue, and has been engaging the board more frequently with a view of unlocking this issue affecting us. One is the leveraging on the technology. As you know, we acquired a new system, and the system, as we've seen some changes compared to when we were on the old system. At least the change, it might not be that significant, but we are very hopeful. Once the other measures that we'll discuss when we come to the fourth part of the question are fully implemented, we'll see a good change. Yes. So those measures, I don't want to repeat them because we have them in the donor part of the question.
Chief, I have a problem with the revenue board, more so this new gadget. Last time when we were in Bondo, we realized that there are some collections that don't reach to the farthest end. They disappear in between. There are some invoices that are being loaded in the system and the money is not there. And again, there's a third party. How do we call it? The what tech? Tell me the name of the RevTech. This is a third party, even the percentage. How can you assure us that moving forward, this problem is going to be solved? Because from where I sit, there is a lot of money which got lost in between. Is this system helping us? Is Revenue Board helping us, or we are just going down, down, down? Thank you.
Yes, Chair. Chair, your permission.
Okay, Honorable Adega.
On the same issue, is the problem coming from the system or individuals? And if it is good, we should sort out this matter once and for all. If it is a system, we forget about the system. If it is individual, we suspend the individuals from the system.
And again, I was almost forgetting. We also had Tuesdays and Sundays, the network is low. And if it is low, what happens? And remember, Sunday is a market day for Kibuye, the largest market in East and Central, in Kisumu County. And Kalolin Shaurmoyo Ward, the ward I represent, where Kibuye is located, is the one remitting the highest revenue. So if on Tuesday we have a Aero market, the system is low. And on Sunday, we have Kibuye market, the system is low. Can you tell us whether it is intentional, somebody is doing sabotage, or that is how the computer was programmed to work? There must be a serious problem that needs to be sorted. Thank you.
In Arjoina, maybe. Surely we have the best brains in Kisumu. People who are qualified, who are meant to hold positions for the interest of the people. We believe we can't achieve 2.2 because it is by design of a human being. Why do we talk about that? We talk about this because we know our revenue streams. Some are not exploited. We came to realize that you don't know the number of houses that belongs to the county. Somebody is sitting on the process. When you go to the city, you can't access information there. Who is in charge in Kisumu County? Who is this letting us down? Because there must be a structure. There must be a departmental meetings where you handle issues accordingly. But here you are failing. You can't assess the city. And this is a child of the county. Somebody is stronger than somebody. I don't know what's happening. Why don't you hold meetings so that you sort out issues within the system? Because our work is oversight. You can't go there to implement policies and do all those things. That is your work. What is happening? Why are you failing on issues which will arrest in time? People always complain. The MCS are also complaining. And we should be a solution to problems happening in the city. It is by a human design. We understand. We should have reached even 1.8 if it is bad. But you see, when we called the revenue board here, they were also lamenting. Everybody is lamenting. You here, you are also lamenting. Oh, we are going to bring a new system. Oh, we are doing this. Oh, we are addressing this. How long will this money be stolen by some people? And you heard when you were in Naivasha, how somebody was talking big, thinking that he's going to manage everything. And he created a lot of hope. We went ahead and recommended for 200 people to be employed, thinking that we are going to get money. You can't get that money. What are we going to tell the people when we get back? You see, something is going wrong. Where is the problem? And we have all the qualified people. You are qualified. You are now a director in charge of ICT. Somebody is misbehaving and you are there. What are you doing? You see, we should ask you, how can a system go under your leg without you seeing? That ball should not pass there. You should be having a proper record of what is happening. And this is why we are asking. Why can't we reach? How can we bring a gadget which is praised by everybody and we still collect 1 point something? What is happening? And we realize even our own employees are now doing some things which are very funny. And you are the head of this thing. What do you expect us to do? You expect us to send you away from work? Because if you can't stop this, we must send you away from work.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, Honorable Owade, do you have something to add?
Yeah. Bwana Chief, it is in the public domain that some officers were suspended, allegedly from embezzling revenue funds. In your projection and your achievement, you have only given us 1 point. Did you add what is allegedly stolen? Because you knew this money was supposed to be this was stolen, and now we have a figure of 1.4. Is this inclusive of stolen or exclusive of stolen? Secondly, remember, we do oversight. Oversight includes investigation. There is this information or allegation that there's money that came, collected, but never reached the bank or the M-Pesa. I would request that from your data, you furnish this committee with the whole data, those that were received, those that never reached the bank or M-Pesa. If you are unable to investigate it, we are going to do it for you. Thank you.
Chief, you need to respond to that. And during your submission, I repeat, you need to tell us why only on Sundays, Kibwe Market Day, and Tuesdays, Airo Market Day, the system goes slow. And you need to tell us whether Revenue Board is helping us or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, it is true that the issues of revenue in Kisumu County is a grave concern to nearly all the stakeholders. That one I can admit. And that is the reason why even the assemblies in totality has raised a lot of issues. And from your conversation, I can see how concerned you are, and we appreciate that. Madam Chair, I can also say that we, as the management, this thing has really bothered us a lot. And we are not just seated there waiting for things to unfold by themselves. We are taking drastic changes to ensure that we turn the table around. And one of the issues to do with the human where that is the employee, as stated, we have forced people into leave, purposely to provide way for investigation, which is currently going on. And I can tell you that we have also deployed competent staff with the right qualifications, the Revenue Board manning key areas of the system. And the issue of network, of which I know the ICT director is with me, I will expound more on. I can tell you that nowadays, the network running low on the market days, we are soon addressing it. And we have done quite a number of correspondences with our vendor where we have complained. And I can see they have now improved the services. And the issue, we've also demanded to access some of parts of the system which initially were blocked from us. We could not access them initially, but as we speak today, we are able to read what is happening at the back end, and you can be able to trace and track some of these transactions to their points of origin. Another measure that we've also taken recently is what I call the daily reconciliation. We want to know that by the end of the day, how many transactions took place through the platform. And then we want also to reconcile them to their individual sources. We don't just want to see the figures swept to CRF of the figures in the bank and the bank in bulk. We want to disintegrate those figures and trace them back to their sources. So if you allow, I will invite the director ICT here to expound more on the technical part of the system.
Okay.
Thank you.
Proceed, Madam Maureen.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. I wish Honorable Ouko was here, but he has left. I'm happy to hear from him that we have not exploited some of the revenue streams. Yes. So on the technical side, the issue was not the system. I'll say it from the technical side. The issue is not the system. The issues we have with revenue, why we cannot reach our target is one, we have not exploited the revenue streams. We don't have the data to know how many businesses do we have in Kisumu County. How many buildings do we have in Kisumu County? So that is one. But they have employed, I think there's a consultant who is doing the work now. For the last 1 week, they are in the field with the staff from Revenue Board to get the data on the ground. So they started it 1 week ago. So I think by the time they finish, we will have the data and we'll be able to exploit those places, those businesses and those buildings, all of them. And we'll be able to go to those places and get that money. The second thing is human resource. Why I'm saying this is because if the money can be seen in the system, why is it that there's no money in the bank? Yes. So it is not the system. The system can be there, a very good one. But if we cannot work and take our system and use it for the benefit of the county, we will not reach the 2.2 billion. So we have had their issues, their human resource, the staff who are out. I think by the time we finalize on the maybe investigations, we will know where the problem was. But on the side where I am as the director ICT and the technical person leading the revenue system, the system is not the problem. The other one is on the Tuesday and Sunday. Anytime we have a problem with the system, we have technical group where they will raise the issues. You can check, even in that technical group, we don't have those issues. It can be raised, maybe one person, the phone is blocked. And that phone is blocked because the person tried to enter the password wrongly 3 times. So you can also, we have the technical group where all the issues will be raised. Even last Sunday, I didn't see any question, any issue with the network, even last Sunday.
Yes, Honorable Sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I just wanted to inform my Director ICT, Maureen, that we are giving you information that is credible, that you need to act on. I don't think you need to defend it. We are telling you because these are complaints that are reaching us from people that you have tasked to collect revenue that mean well for this county. And they are saying that on those specific days, they experience poor network. So we are not just saying to accuse somebody, but we are giving you information at people that we think are responsible for revenue collection so that you can take action. I think that's the information I wanted to give, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Sir. Again,
it would appear that his is a hearsay. Me, I'm telling you, I have confirmed, and the latest was on Sunday, where a contractor was dumping on my site. He made over 60 trips from a borrow pit. And Palori was 300. From what he collected, he ought to have given the county government 18,000 on Sunday. That Sunday, nothing came to your account. Yet, that person has a machine. What does that tell you? That machine could be connected to somewhere else. I'm here. If you have a witness, I am here to testify. Thank you.
Okay, Madam Maureen, you have responded to my question, and that brings me to another question. You have said that the money can be seen in the system, but it is not reflected in the bank. What is the problem, and what action have you taken as a department? Because that is something we cannot take lightly. That is why we cannot achieve our goal. I asked you before that, is the Revenue Board helping us? Proceed.
Chair, on the same, I think Madam Maureen has to come out clearly. There is no way the system can register a transaction and this transaction never reached the bank or the CRF account. The system is a series of functions. So one of the functions is to take the money to the bank. That is the system. So on its failure to reach the bank, then there is a fault in the system. And that fault can be intentional by the vendor, or can be intentional by the Revenue Board or whoever the employee is. And if we have, Chair, Madam Chair, if we have a certain case or cases like that where revenue has been collected at X and the money never reached the account, then the officer involved is culpable of really being taken to jail, because that is illegal. We believe that whatever the system captures, it ought to have reached the bank account. Even the vendor knows the money, whatever the formula they have with the county, it can only be diverted after it has reached somewhere. And if there is an explanation from the ICT director that the system captures some monies and it is never remitted to the bank account of the county, then that is a very serious mischief. And that one needs an audit, so that we know who are these officers. Because, Madam Chair, what can happen, I might have a business, a big business in town, where I pay $1 million or 200,000. Then, the officer or the revenue collector comes to me, we negotiate, I'm given a valid document to justify my business to be there. But in the essence, the system has registered, I've paid, but the county never received. So that can be happening in our nose, and we are seeing. So I think we really should need to come out very clearly. What is this, the gap which is in that system, which is causing us this? Thank you.
Yes, Chair, only one. Are you aware there are some fake receipts going around within Kisumu County?
I hope you are noting down. Proceed.
Through the chair, I started saying, by saying that when there's an alleged that there's money in the system, it's not in the bank. The money disappeared somewhere. And that's why it's being said we lost some money. So that's what I'm saying. If the money is in the system and it's not somewhere in the bank or whichever, or the M-Pesa, which Danny was saying, that it's not in the M-Pesa or in the bank, Honorable Uko, then it is not the system. But on the issue of the Tuesday and Sunday, yes, we were told about it when we were in Bondo. We investigated, we asked, we even checked. The way I'm saying, we have the technical people where we are always told what is happening. So we didn't hear. When there's a network issue, we are always informed about network issue. For the last 2 weeks, I've not heard about it on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday or on a Sunday. Even the last Sunday, Honorable Lumumba is talking about, there was no one who said there's a network issue. So that is why I'm saying it is human resource or human beings. Because if there's a network issue, they always inform us. So in case there's a network issue, we'll always sort it out immediately. If we can't sort it out immediately, we will tell the people we have this issue and we are sorting it out. So that one, I will just leave it there so that we may be able to know, was it that the phone was not working? Was it that the person was not there to receive the money? Was it that there was no network? So that's what I have for that. For the other one, on the fake, maybe permits or the licenses, bank receipts.
You know, there are some of the businesses or projects being given receipt after paying, isn't it? Those fake receipts are within the county, if you are aware.
When someone pays, for example, if it is a business, we always give the licenses. That is what you have put in your business. So we either give you the licenses that you put. If there are certain licenses which are fake, still that is human being. It is the revenue board, the ward revenue officers, sub-county revenue officers, to walk around, and also the enforcement. If we have the fake ones, we need to investigate. That one has not been printed from the system. It is human beings. So that is what I will still say on that. If there's a problem with the system, there's an investigation going on. There are people who have been given a compulsory leave so that the investigation continues. If there is a problem with the system, I think through the investigation, they will be able to tell us where the problem was, and those implicated will be able to take responsibility. If it is the system, then the vendor will take responsibility of what happened. Thank you.
Honorable Seth.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I want to deviate from collection revenue. I just want to remind them that we are giving you information that we are getting that can help you in addressing issues of revenue collections. Fake receipts, I know you can say so many things, but you know the errors are there. I think there's one person by the name Anyona who has been sent home because we don't have ways of our customers knowing that this is an original receipt, this is a fake. And we were suggesting that you have maybe a scannable barcode in those receipts, so that and then inform the people you are giving the licenses that please, once you get the license, scan, and it has these features so that they can differentiate. If I don't know whatever license I'm given by somebody who has come and I know is working for the county government, I will take that to be the official receipt. But other than that, Madam Chair, I want to refer to the department of an agreement made by the city and Villa Care Limited in management of city parks and stadia. To be specific, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Sports Center, no, it's now Jomo Kenyatta Sports Center and Oile Park. Jaramogi, yes, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Sports Center and Oile Park. I wanted to know if they are aware of that agreement, Madam Chair, before I proceed.
Chief, can you respond? Or
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I need to consult on that first before we respond. I don't know, maybe it could be there or it might not be there. But I, as an individual, it has not been brought to my attention. And I can't affirm that it's not there. Maybe it has not been brought to my attention.
Now I can execute my case further. Now that you are not aware, I'm bringing to your attention of a communication to the Assembly of an agreement made by the City of Kisumu as a directorate with Villa Care Limited to help them manage Oile Park and Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Sports Center at a cost of 150,000 per month. Madam Chair, we are struggling with revenue. We just passed the finance bill. And I want to give an example with Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Sports Center in Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Sports Center, there are 15 rooms, 15 stalls that are owned by the county government of Kisumu. There's a restaurant inside Jaramogi Oginga Odinga that is owned by the county government of Kisumu. There are fields. There's hockey pitch, there's basketball pitch, there's football pitch, all which are owned by the county government of Kisumu. In the previous finance bill, the renting of the restaurant alone per month was 100,000. The renting of the stalls was 15,000 per stall. For every match that is played in that stadium, I think we had charges for both national matches, local and international. Madam Chair, if you look at the cost of Jaramogi alone, if we were to rent the restaurant alone at 100,000, it almost, I don't know, 3/4 of the monies that we are tasked Villa Care to give us per month. If you look at the monies that we are to get from those stalls, and I remember in this financial year, because of complaints from the customers, it was reduced from 15 to 8,000. And I think there are 12 stalls, 8,000, some 12, that's around 96,000. If you take the stalls alone and the restaurant, we are at 196,000. And we have an agreement here with Villa Care to give us 150,000. That the department that is responsible for revenue collection does not know, Madam Chair. How then do we proceed with such arrangements when a contract has been signed by a directorate and a government officer and the department that is responsible for revenue collection, because these are revenue streams, do not know that such an arrangement is existing between a directorate and a private manager for our parks. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Maureen, as we said before, we are here to help each other. We want to achieve our goal. That's why we are free to give you the information you don't have for you to act. Okay? Okay. We want to proceed and...
He has not responded to certain questions, particularly my question. I asked that for those who were suspended, allegedly to have mismanaged or stolen funds, how much were those funds? And are they inclusive of what you achieved or exclusive? Two, I have said, as an oversight, we are also charged with investigation. If you cannot investigate this matter to the conclusion, give us all the data so that we know how much was paid and reached the bank or M-Pesa and how much did not reach and who is responsible.
Yeah, Chair, on that, I think I can add. I think the Director ICT, if she is able to be one of the people at the back end of the system, then it would be really prudent as the committee to let her give us all the data. She has all the logs from the day one of that service provider up to now. So if we can get that log, vis-a-vis the Department of Finance to give us what they received in the CRF account of this county, so that we know the gap. As we are talking, we cannot know the gap, how much is lost and how it is stolen. But if we have the two documents, the data from the system and the data from the bank, CRF account, we will be able to check and see where the problem is. And we will solve it once and for all. Otherwise, this thing will be going in circles and people will be sent home or permanent leave, I don't know which leave. But we will not be solving anything and the money will be going. Thank you.
Yes, Chair, on the same issue, there is a building here where the fire was. And there are some agreement between the businessmen there operating there and the city. Are you aware of that such a kind of agreement? Because remember also the revenue board appeared before this house and they denied they don't know anything about that thing. At the same time, there's a permanent building within, permanent stalls within the same place. Kindly, we need verification of the same. How the rent, whom are they paying the rent? Because we heard that the rent is being paid directly to individual.
You know, Chief, there are some things we need not to treat as secrets. You know, when we were in Bondo, or Wasiri was wondering, he was asked, you mean you know this? You mean you know all this? Where do you get all this from? And it's a case where taxpayers' money is being squandered. Be serious. You have a lot to do as a department. You can proceed.
Yes, Chair. On the same issue.
With permission, Mr. Dega.
I just forgotten one thing. Remember, this building's also being approved by the county. Permanent building within.
Okay. Well, Chief, you can give anybody from your team to respond to the questions, concerns, please.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. The members have posed quite a number of questions. We'll address the one we have fact. Others will request that you allow us to table them later. Now, maybe just to address part of what has been asked by the Deputy Chair, whether the amount in question that has been somehow cannot be traced from the system. This is a part of what is bank. Chair, it is true that we cannot report on what we cannot verify. And therefore, the amount that's being alleged as stolen is not part of the 1.4 reported as realized on source revenue. Second, let me invite Director Kwama to help. Now, the question of how much, where, why, and who, those are the basis of investigation, and they're now under investigation. And once the investigators are done, we'll table the report, and those questions will be appropriately addressed.
You know, if you have suspended someone, you know it's been suspended for having mismanaged or embezzled this number of money. Investigation to follow. What I'm asking, how much is allegedly embezzled by those that have been sent home? Very simple.
Thank you, Chair. Now, the reason why we cannot have a defined response on the amount is that it's still something that's under investigation. This is a house of records, and maybe the figure that I might quote might not be the true status. I've pleaded that the issue is being investigated, and once the report is out, we'll know the facts. Madam Chair, if you allow me, I can invite Director Kwama.
Let me repeat my question. Out of the suspended ones, can you pick only one victim to say the letter that was written to him read like you have embezzled 200,000 as an example? Or it was just a blank that you've been, something like that, only that.
Okay, Honorable Owade, I can help them. Maybe that question need to be directed to the Revenue Board. Maybe you will have it, the answer later on. I can forgive you for that. But we need to get the facts right. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kindly, if you allow, I can invite Director Kwama now to address other part of the queries.
Okay, Dr. Kwama, proceed.
Thank you, Chair. I think I want to pick it from where Chief has just left it. The issue of revenue collection and the new system that is in place, we all agree that there's a problem. And because of that problem, that is why we have people who have been suspended. One of the things that is going on now is what we call a forensic audit. Now, when you're doing a forensic audit for a system, one of the things that you look at are the logs within the system. If, Madam Chair, you are saying that on Sunday, one of the Sundays, there was no collection or remittance from Kibuye Market, the question is, who are the participants or the revenue officers who are in Kibuye during that day? And are there issues that they raised that the system had a problem or the network had a problem? Is it by design that every Sunday and Tuesday there is problem with the network? So these are the issues that that are being investigated on, and I will just request that if you can allow that process to be concluded by the relevant teams, then I think we can give you a report based on that. Number two, there are some questions also that have been directed to Director ICT that I think can only be answered by the Revenue Board and not Director ICT. Because if you say that there are fake receipts, who are on the ground to check on these fake receipts? We have ward revenue officers, we have sub-county revenue officers, we have enforcement officers. These are not teams working under Directorate of ICT, but they are people who are working under Revenue Board. So I believe that there are some questions through the chair that if we need answers, then we can do official communication to the relevant department to give us these answers. The deputy chair has talked about, can we give a figure? That figure can only be given by the board. And one of the things that the board is looking at is because every month we all know that they have a roundtable meeting with the executive. So part of the investigation is what is it that they report to the executive during those roundtable meetings? And is there anything that has been said that is bringing us to where we are now? If you look at the difference of revenue collection, 2.2 billion that was projected, and one that is collected, that is 1.4. The chief says that, you see, we cannot have account for what we don't know, but we only account for what we can see. And I will still go back and ask the members that we all accept that there's a problem, and we all acknowledge that discussions going on here can help us strengthen the system and can help us strengthen the revenue collection. So we take them wholeheartedly. And the areas that we feel that are still green, I know the challenge that we might have, because if you look at the program, it seems we really didn't get into the inner details, like what Honorable Seth is talking about, the agreement between Villa Care and, it's something that we didn't anticipate that will come at this level. But that alone is an insight to us that, okay, there could be things that are going on that some of us may not be aware, or we may be aware, but we did not look into them, to check into them, because we didn't anticipate that a question like that will come at this point. The same case with what Honorable Adega is talking about. The agreement between City and I think it is Kakwacha, which he fears to talk about the name. So with something that I think the department will have to go and check, that if there was any agreement between Kakwacha and the city, Kadianga, okay, Kadianga, if there was any agreement between Kadianga and the city, and if there was, the director ICT is here, and I believe every revenue now is directed through the system. She'll also have to check whether this kind of collections also go through the system. Then I think with the kind of information we are getting, I believe the director ICT, in her capacity, in what she's supposed to do, can give us a report. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Loiko.
Chair, having listened to the discussion and what Dr. Kwama has aired, it gives a picture that the committee invited the wrong people who do not deal with revenue collection in this county. And another matter, Chair, recently a report was passed in this house giving the city autonomous power. And the city has started using that. In that report, what was defined? The role of the city and the role of the finance department. Chair, there's a problem in this county. There's a big problem in this county. And where to put the blame may not be easy to identify. So, with all that you have been gathering from the finance department, the revenue board, the boss must be told the truth. There's a problem in his government. I would wish to know, the director ICT, were you in that office when the fraud started, or you have just been made active? Chair, that will be very critical. If the director was there when the fraud started, or she's just acting now. Thank you.
Mr. Kwame, you want to respond to that? Okay.
My friend, Honorable Oikopete, I think one of the things that, or one of the roles of the assembly is oversight. And when you say that the city seems to be semi-autonomous or not, I believe it is something that must have been approved even in the assembly, whether the city is going autonomous or semi-autonomous or full cycle autonomous. So if that has not been done, then I think Honorable Iko needs to start from there. Request the executive to provide this house with the relevant documentations and agreements, and what is it that is going to the city and what is it that is remaining outside city. When you define city, what is the scope of a city? So I think these are the questions that Honorable Iko, if you can put them together, and if they've not been brought to this house, then I think that's where you need to start from, so that we ask the right questions to the right teams. Thank you. Number two, you've asked my colleague to state whether she was in office during this time that fraud started. One, we are still not sure whether it was fraud or not. There is suspicion, and that is why people have been suspended, and that's why we are doing a forensic audit for the system. So once that is completed, because you see, it's like we could be discussing something that is in court, which is illegal. So I just want to ask that through the chair, if it is possible, then we allow the legal process that is going on for the discussion surrounding revenue to be concluded by the relevant teams working on them, because we could be talking about things that are not verified. Yet on the other side, they found issues that you guys need to, the assembly needs to handle. So I'll just request the honorable members that these issues, if you allow the teams to just work on their work, then you can request for a report as assembly. That one, we know people are suspended. Number two, we understand there was fraud. Can we get that report from the relevant teams or the revenue board? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Jim. You have something to add?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Chair, you know, that do not stop us from getting whatever we want from the department. Even if the investigation is going on, as a watchdog committee, we are able to request any information, any data at any time, and to avail to us to scrutiny. That is our work. So I think it's not in order to for Dr. Kwama to say we are not interfering with anything, but when we suspect there is something, we also need to have the documentation when we can request it at any time. And I request the chair that randomly let us get data of what I mentioned. Whatever we are getting as the CRF receipts vis-a-vis the receipts from the system, because seemingly they are not matching. For us to know what is going on, let us get the two. Even if we choose a month like March, when it is peak for revenue collection, let us be random as such, that we get a March documentation for both the system and the bank, and we reconcile. As a committee, we will be able to pick and check what is going on. Because these investigations will take forever, even after our term here. I know. It will take forever, and we shall have not known anything going on, and we will be continuing to lose much as we are losing now. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Honorable Oiko, you still have more questions or a comment from the reaction? Okay.
Madam Chair, when I ask on raised a matter on the ICT director, when the fraud was done, when she was in the office, Dr. Kwame has come up to challenge, and some of the matters have raised. So I will ask, for how long has she been in that department? And Dr. Kwame, you see, what I raised are very fundamental. See, because when you are when a department is invited by the committee, should be the relevant department, and the matters raised should be matters that the department should be in a position to answer. Otherwise, it will be pointless to invite a department on matters that they do not relate to their function. Like now, we know there's the revenue board and the finance department. There may be still confusion, but we must get facts right. And when matters have risen here of the city board doing collection and the assembly giving the city board semi-autonomous power, and the department is not aware, where are we heading to? I will end there, and I say the assembly has work to do. And the owner of the work, that is the boss, must know things as we move on.
I rejoined on that, Dr. Kwame. I think your department ought to have known, because Revenue Board is reporting to Waziri, Finance, and whatever. Yeah. Proceed.
Yeah, that's true, Madam Chair. What I was trying to ask not to get involved in is to try as if we might be interfering with the current ongoing process of investigation. So if my feeling is that if the members wanted information or they want information regarding revenue, then I think it requires a special session on all the issues regarding revenue. Because I believe even if you write to executive now that you need information about revenue, the response I can tell you for free is that the things they're doing investigation on, and they will want to be that end of investigation report be what you need. Because if you have the meeting today talking about revenue, it will be half-baked, Madam Chair. But if you allow the process to be concluded, then a report can be tabled in this house. And I also want to ask my friend, Honorable James, Madam Chair, what Honorable James is looking for is part of the ongoing process. So what our director here, ICT, can give you may be half-baked, and you see, it will be contradictory when she comes back again after the conclusion of that investigation with a report. Then you'll start asking, when you are here on such a day, you said this. Now you've come with a new report stating this. That's why I'm requesting through the chair, if you can allow this process to be concluded. I believe as assembly, you have the right for oversight. When that process is concluded, you can ask for that report to be tabled so that you need to know what were the issues surrounding revenue system. What was it? What did they find out? And what was their conclusion about it? So I'm just trying to appeal with my friend James that just allow the process to be concluded. Then we have a full report to the House.
Okay.
Through the chair, Director Koma, you're right, and at the same time you're contradicting yourself. you are trying to give this committee the directive. At the same time, you are saying this team is not liable to the questions we are asking, that these questions are directed to the revenue. I don't know whether you know the power of this committee. And you are the mother to the revenue board. It is the mother, this department is the mother to the revenue board. And if we deal with you, it is your duty to go and look for that information from the revenue board and either bring it here directly or the revenue board to bring it here directly. But you cannot tell us that we should do this and that. We are doing oversight. How we do it should not be directed. The chair will give a ruling, and that ruling is what will be followed. Thank you.
Okay. A minute, Honorable Ojemo. Honorable Kwama, we need to move, but before that, you know, this committee, I mean assembly, has the same powers as that of the High Court. So there's nothing preventing us from requesting for the documents we need. We can just give, I want to make a ruling on this, Honorable Ojemo, because we need to move. We can give you time, and we'll do it through a letter to your office, so that you give us all the information we need, and then we see what to do as assembly. Thank you. Okay, we want to proceed. We were going program by program. We are now in planning and policy formulation. But I request the members that we allow the chief to do with the presentation, and then we ask the questions later on. You just complete everything. You complete your presentation, and then we'll ask questions later on. Proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'll just request that in the subsequent discussion, please also protect us so that the members do not drift a lot and throw us off guard, because, you know, we have to prepare before we come before this honorable committee. And the question that you pose to us is where we do adequate research and prepare in wholesome. Some of the issues that are being raised here will require us to refresh ourselves or go and dig back into the records we have, of which those records are not within us here. But I know the committee is mandated to ask any question, and on our side, we are also demanded to respond. But for adequate response, which are also very relevant and fact-based, you do protect us, Madam Chair. Okay, now the second part on the program number 2, I request my counterpart, the acting director for economic planning, to respond.
Okay, Director, proceed.
Thank you, Chair. If you allow, I'll start with the monitoring and evaluation. Then I proceed to planning. Yeah.
Proceed.
So under monitoring and evaluation program, we planned to establish village and ward, village, ward, sub-county, and county monitoring and evaluation committees, a total of 15 that was achieved. We have what is called electronic county integrated monitoring and evaluation system. This system is supposed to help in generating project implementation or status report. This was not achieved, and we are saying the department is in the process of uploading the CIDP 3 and its ADPs in the system. The system was acquired, is up and running. However, it has not been able to generate any reports so far. We also planned to do an M&A policy. This has been done. I think the last time I checked, public participation was carried out at the sub-county just to validate the policy. Thereafter, it will be tabled in the cabinet for adoption, then forwarded to the county assembly for approval. In terms of improving accountability, we are actually mandated to be producing a county annual monitoring and evaluation reports. These are reports that should inform the annual state of the county address. So this was done. We need an indicator handbook. We had planned for an indicator handbook to monitor the progress of the implementation of the CIDP. Though this has not been done, the Directorate of M&E is finalizing currently on the indicator handbook. Allow me to proceed to planning.
Okay, Mr. Obiero, we agreed that if you're not achieved anything, you tell us why it didn't happen.
I'll start with the ECMS, and I'll also ask, because we have the director in charge of M&E, is also here with us. We are saying for the system to generate a project implementation report, then we need to upload all the CIDP, the programs and projects in the system. Maybe director will elaborate on this as to why, the uploading has not been done. What we are saying, the reason is we have not uploaded the CIDP into the system, and therefore we could not generate a report. So I'll ask the director later on, M&E, if you allow, to expound on that. Yeah. The same applies to the indicator handbook. Now, in terms of planning and policy formulation, we normally do budget estimates, one every year that was achieved. We are supposed to be presenting the budget review and outlook paper to the cabinet, then tabled to the county assembly. This was done. As we implement the budget, we are supposed to be producing budget review and implementation reports on quarterly basis. This was done. We planned for 4, and we achieved that target. We also have development of county annual. We coordinate the preparation or the drafting of this document before the assembly, the annual development plan, which we are discussing. Also, at the policy level, after the ADP, we normally do the fiscal strategy paper. So we expect 2 documents. We planned for them, and both were done. We also planned to do an economic survey to provide baseline statistics. And we did this after realizing the gaps in the statistical function that has also been alluded to by Director ICT. That, for example, if we target revenue collection from single business permit, for example, what are we targeting? If, for example, the board or maybe the finance, we are here and we can't tell you the number of registered businesses in Kisumu, then what are we targeting? We can give you any figure. So that was the point of doing the survey. Unfortunately, we didn't budget for this. That is why we didn't produce it. But as a stopgap measure, I think this will be addressed when we come to the strategies for the next financial year. We are saying, and we have started with the help of Director Statistics. In the absence of a survey, then there's a document called County Statistical Abstract. So this should provide statistics across all sectors of the county, for a series of years. So we are looking at this data from 2023, 2022, up to 20? From 2019, back from 2019 up to 2023, 2024. It's a process that we have started. So we are not going to budget for economic survey, but a county statistical abstract. In terms of infrastructure development, we were advised by the assembly that there is no way, there was some duplication. Initially we used to construct Huduma documentation and information centers. Then we realized that planning could not handle this. The idea was even, well conceived. So the Department of Administration, Governance and Participatory Development took it up. And that is now the reason as to why we didn't budget for it, and therefore we are not in the business of constructing Huduma centers. We had to report this because in the previous plan, the plan for 2023-2024, we had captured it. Allow me to stop at that. Maybe I'll invite the Director ICT to present the ICT bit.
Kindly proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the ICT, where I have been the director for the last 1 year, 2 months for the whole county, we had enhancement access to the dedicated internet services, availability of reliable and stable internet services. We were at 120 Mbps, but we improved to 800, so the target was achieved and even surpassed. If you can remember, there was a time the payments were even being done at assembly because of the internet issues, but that one is nowadays not there. The second one was on the Kisumu County Integrated Network Infrastructure. This is where we want to connect not only the city or the headquarters here, but we want to target other offices and also the sub-counties. We were targeting, in that year, we were targeting the headquarters at Prosperity Building. We also wanted to connect with the City Hall and also the Governor's Office at City Hall. We have the fire station, the new fire station where we have the city. We were also targeting public works where we've not been able to have internet, KCRH, and also Kombewa Hospital and GTRH. The number of county institutions connected right now, I think there was a mistake there. The ones we wanted, the 3, those 3 are connected with the new service provider, which we brought into place, which is a telecom. So I think there was a mistake. The 3 are connected already with the new service provider. So the target achieved. Number 3, digitization and automation of government services. We were targeting, the number of services were supposed to be 6, but we managed 3. That is the revenue system. We now have an e-board system where the county executive do their meetings, executive meetings online. It is no longer paperless. It is they are no longer using the manual way of having their executive meetings. It is now paperless. The other one is we have the biometric system, the biometric access and door control system where the staff log in when they come to work and also log out when they are leaving. So we have those in place. We didn't manage the target of 6, but we managed the 3 just because of budget constraints, and some of them are because of the infrastructure of budget, because of budget constraint. So we managed the 3 for the last financial year. Enhancement of ICT resource utilization. We were only targeting to do 1 policy on that, and the ICT policy, which was drafted, we reviewed it, we called the stakeholders for participation, where even the members of the assembly were invited, and the document is with the cabinet for approval. The other one is on equipping the county workforce. The number of equipments that were procured were 300. We targeted 300, but we procured 225. These are the desktops, computers, the laptops, and also the printers. We didn't manage the 300, but we tried by using the little resources we had to procure 225. Thank you. The last one, sorry, digitally empowered users and citizens. Number of empowered, 450 was the target, but we made 496, so we surpassed the target. We trained youths using the Ajira training, and also we have a program called Zone 01, Kisumu, where we are training the youths. So we managed that. And also we did training of our users as the staff. Thank you.
Mr. Biro, this one you skipped. Do you want to proceed? Skip. Okay. So
maybe we can proceed to the status of the capital projects, and I'll still request Director M&D and Director ICT.
Okay.
To speak to this. Yeah.
Good.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think there's a question that you asked about where we've not completed some work. I'll go back to ECMS enhancement. And as mentioned earlier, we started this system for enabling us to have reports online as per from the departments. Now, Madam Chair, what we have done is to work with all departments through M&D focal persons. And the M&D focal person currently are able to access the system because it is a county-wide system. The only problem that we had is that we are not able to upload programs in the system. Thus, we called for enhancement of this system. Now, where we are about that is that the CIDP, the departments are uploading the CIDP into the system as per their programs, and also the ADP, so that when we come now to reporting, the system will be able to generate reports as per what the departments intended to perform. And that's why we are saying that it's a 0, because we are working on enhancement as we speak now, so that after that, we'll be able to generate reports without waiting for maybe a longer time. The other one is about county indicator handbook, which is on, we are talking about harmonization of indicators. Madam Chair, you realize that one of the things that the M&E Directorate does is to help in development of reporting templates. Now, in this, then, we expect that departments also have a way of reporting using the indicators that we have agreed upon as a county. So, at the same note, we've been working with the departments and discussing with them on what is expected of them in terms of development of indicators across the sectors. At the same time, then we have the departmental M&E focal persons, the directors involved in this, so that when we talk about now tracking, they're tracking from the known, not from the unknown. And just to report to the Assembly, Madam Chair, is that this one will help us to generate baseline data. I think from the discussion this morning, there are things to do with baseline data, because how do you target if you don't have the baseline? And now, after knowing where you are going, that this is what you want, how do you track? And that's why the indicators are important in that breadth. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the status of capital projects, the first one, revamping the land infrastructure at the county headquarters. And that is prosperity, not only prosperity. When you talk of headquarters, we also have the governor's office, where we have the city hall. So the estimated cost was 450, but the actual accumulated cost is 1.2 and 400. So we have, as I've said before, we had issues with the internet connectivity and having dedicated internet to a point where our finance people were coming to assembly to even access the internet banking. But we had to put those in place so that we can be able to have all the activities of the county being done at Prosperity and also at the city, where the governor is currently. So we have been able to have the internet stable. We have done the LAN. We have changed topology to be able to have this table. Then we have, I leave the ECMIS, where we have the monitoring. My director, the director for monitoring and evaluation, will talk on that. Then we have the youth digital literacy training program. We have a training program with partners, 4 partners. And we have been able to have the first intake where we are training the youths for free for 2 years. Then they also will be able to have job opportunity for a maximum of 3 years, but they can be able to renew depending on the request they make. So on this project, the county, under the director ICT, we were able to go do an outreach to our sub-counties to get the students. Currently, they are doing the course at Lake Hub, which is our partner. But in the next 1 month, they will be able to come to Rotary. We have furnished the Rotary with 100 computers, desk computers. We have done the LAN. So the students will now come to Rotary Vocational Training Center. So that is where we are. So it is an ongoing program which the governor launched. So the first cohort we have there. So those are the ones we have for the ICT. But these achievements, we have had some challenges. One of them, delayed disbursement from maybe National Treasury. the on-source revenue. We were not able to reach the target. Delayed procurement processes. That's why we have even delayed the students to move from Lake Hub, which is our partner, to Rotary. We've just completed the work last month because of delayed procurement processes, which may be because of some issues of even the money not being there sometimes on time. The lack of acceptance to some of the systems you put in place, and you may find that you have the system, but acceptance level, people changing from maybe the manual to the automated may be sometimes not easy. The only people who I've seen have really accepted the change is the executive. The day the e-board system was put in place, they have never gone back to the manual way of conducting their executive meetings. Then we have also lack of ICT policy and some the roadmap documents like the ICT policy. Sometimes this ICT policy is very critical for any ICT services, but we are hoping that this year it's going to be approved. It's with the cabinet, so we are hoping that it's going to be approved so that it is in place to be used. Thank you. So you can talk about the monitoring.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. From the status of capital projects, I just mentioned about the electronic county integrated monitoring evaluation system. I would like to add that when Chief Abiero was presenting, he mentioned something to do with the ownership of this system by alluding to the fact that we are enhancing M&D system at all levels by coming up with M&D committees. We have committees at the village level, the ward level, the sub-county level, and the headquarters level. Now, the issue is, why are they important? We want, one of the things that we have done with these committees is to take them through what M&D is and what M&D is not. For example, M&D is not auditing. M&D is a management tool. So how can they use M&D to manage the resources of the county? So these are some of the processes that we are going through, those training. And at the same time, when we now come to the electronic M&D system, then they will be able to track what is in the system in terms of what does the BQ say. So what do they expect in terms of inputs, activities, leading to what output, and then leading to what outcome. So all that result chain issue we are explaining to these M&D committees, so they are able to articulate M&D at those levels and be able to help us generate credible information. Apart from the M&D committees, Madam Chair, we have worked with the village administrators, the ward administrators, and the sub-county administrators. How? Also taking them through what M&D is and what M&D is not, so that when they're handling M&D issues, they know what they're supposed to report on. And of course, we have templates that have been developed. So when this system will be fully operational after the uploading of the programs, the CIDP programs and the ADP programs in the system, then the officers will be able, on a click of the button, to look at how the county government programs and projects are being run. And they can even question question where they feel that what has been, say, captured is not the right thing. Now, the biggest question is, who is uploading information into this system? Through the chief officers of the departments, who are the accounting officers, they have nominated officers who are doing the work at the director's level to upload the CIDP programs and the ADB programs in the system, which means they'll not be talking about M&E directorates, the one that uploaded this. We want them to own the process. So that's where we are, Madam Chair, in terms of monitoring and evaluation in the country. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Oko.
Thank you very much, Director, on your intention to make some work. Unfortunately, you have been in office for some time, but we don't see the results. We are still lamenting on issues which we should not be lamenting about. One, who monitors these projects? Who are on the ground? Which are on the ground? Because at times, even now, we had reports from the medical department. Some projects are completed. The 7 million is gone, but only perimeter wall is in place. No, if you can do what you are talking about, with the time you have been in office, you will be somewhere. The people you are working with, Director Kwame was once in a department of administration. Those are the most creative people. They're concealing a lot of information to the seniors. And they fear M&E process because they know it will make it very easy for the auditors to see what they are doing. Without you people, they will still have to challenge a lot of auditors' work. So the moment you talk about you are not auditing, it is just a management tool. At the same time, the employees are seeing it differently as a way of giving it easier way for the senior officer, who is in charge, maybe director or somebody else, to get hold of what they are doing down there. So you must expect that you will be having an anthill. It's not easy for you. It will not be very easy with the system we have, because everybody is coming to it. And if you, it's like you are coming out to prevent eating, obviously, you are going to expose everything. So you need officers. I know you have a lot of challenges. You need officers which are directly answerable to you, not to other departments. Because the moment you have, you are relying on other apparatus to deal with issues, you will not succeed for a director. And this is why you are not felt on the ground, because you don't have officers who are directly. Unfortunately, our wage bill is also ballooning. So if you can reorganize the system so that we get some officers from some other departments, and you have your own officers so that they can be answerable directly to you, not to other people, then back to you. Otherwise, your intentions are very good, but it's quite unfortunate that we have a long way to go. But we need to give you support which is necessary. Thank you.
Through Madam Chair, I'm very much elated by the members' contribution about this. And I would like to report that when I joined Kisumu County as Director M&E, the M&E language was not there. But in the departments. I'll not even surprise you. The first meeting that I held, when I asked a colleague from a department that, how do you do this budgeting? And this officer told me that, you see, we're waiting for money to come from Nairobi, then we decide on what to do with it. Planning comes first before you request for money, isn't it? So I think those are some of the issues that have been there. But Mheshimiwa, I'll tell you that there's goodwill. One, there's goodwill from the executive. I've been supported. And even having the M&E focal persons, I'm not the one who nominated. I proposed, and the CAs, I proposed the names, and the CAs gave out, notification that those officers become M&E focal persons. So the first thing that I did is to have some training or workshop training on what M&E is and what M&E is not. I think we did so well. And when you look at the state of the county address, like the last one that our governor read, it was well improved because of the officers who have been converted. It's about conversion. And I'm also happy that you have mentioned this in front of my two chief officers, because they know that I've been struggling in terms of even the workforce. But what is important for us as Kisumu County is to try to make people understand that M&D is not policing, M&D is not auditing, M&D is a management tool. So that they use it, and that M&D information is to build Kisumu. It's not for Baridi Manyasi, it's not for Mheshimiwa, it's not even for the governor. Because we need people who can articulate issues that are there, and of course, more importantly, work from the baseline and give information as per the results. And that's why I mentioned issues to do with result chain, looking at things from inputs, activities, outputs, outcome, and impact. If they have that planning model, which departments today have, they know how to report on outputs and how to report on outcomes, so that we are able to move the county to the next level. Now, the electronic county M&D system is just there now to make things easier, so that at the touch of the button, you, Eshimiwas, you are able to see even the project in your area and see what the departments have written. Because that's what I'm saying, that we are delinking this thing from the M&D director, and to have the departments state what is in their program and state where they are in terms of those programs or projects. So that for us is to midwife the process. In fact, we come in as evaluators at the evaluation process, but after showing them how to ensure that they put pen to paper where it's required. In fact, it's more of developing a BQ for all programs and projects, and people can follow what is happening on the ground. Thank you very much.
Yeah, yes, Honorable Loic.
Madam Chair, what the officer was addressing us on was monitoring and evaluation. And Madam Chair, this is doing away with the project management committee, where we had made where an act had been passed in this house, Project Management and Implementation Act of 2021. And the government is silent on this. See where problems come from. And we are yet to see how effective it is, Madam Chair. Like in my ward, there's a project that was being done, and it is a monitoring and evaluation committee that was supposed to make decision. There are other activities that were to be done, and they promised, and months are ending and not yet done. If it will be very effective the way you say, where at the bottom of the digit, things are seen everywhere, that will be okay. But we know it will have problems. Another matter, Madam Chair, the ICT directors talked of some kind of training for the youth. Madam, will you elaborate on how we can get the youth for this training? Asante.
Thank you. Chief, I hope we are now done with the first part. That is the review for the financial year 2023-2024. Am I right? And we agreed to note our concerns down. So before we proceed to this financial year, I have a question. From your presentation, Mr. Obiero, you said that we lack spatial plan and sector plan. If so, when When are you planning to have it? Because I know it is a 10-year plan. Can you respond?
I didn't talk about sectoral, but the position is, sorry, I didn't talk about sectoral plan and special plan, but what you've stated is true. We don't have a special plan, and I think this is a matter that is being addressed. We may not respond to it conclusively because it is being addressed by the Department of Lands. The sectoral plan that is provided for in the County Government Act is supposed to be a 10-year plan, from which the CIDP draws the program. And that is why one of the issues that the committee wanted us to discuss, issue number 4, was alignment, linkage of the programs and projects to other relevant long-term and medium-term plans. So that is where we are. As a department, we've started the process of doing ideally the CIDP, the sectoral plan should have come before the CIDP. But because it is a 10-year plan, so we are referring to the CIDP 3 as the first 5-year of the sectoral plan. Then we are projecting that up to 2032. The process is ongoing. Last week, there was a committee that was actually drafting the plan after getting submissions from all the sectors. We are going to subject this to stakeholder validation in a week's time. Then we forward it to the cabinet for adoption. Once that is done, and we are anticipating that must be done within this financial year. So we are not, projecting that we'll, do it next financial year. Hope I'm clear.
Hello. Yes, honorable members, before we proceed to interrogate the proposed sector priorities, programs and projects in this financial year, maybe if you have any question before you proceed. If none, I'll allow them to continue with their presentation. Chief, you have something to add, Madam Maureen?
Just to give a feedback, he asked about the training of the program and where they can be able to apply. So the application is online. I will send more details to Chair of ICT on how they apply online. But you can visit our Facebook page, Zone 01 Kisumu. You can be able to get more details, but I will send the link on how to apply for the digital training. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Honorable Oak.
There are benefits of having officers. Such benefits are limited. They don't just come. When we come to your office, what is wrong if you come to your office? Although it is digitally, it is a digital-oriented kind of training, and probably that is why you are encouraging digital kind of application. But what if we visit your offices as lawmakers and you as the implementers and the executive?
Yes, you're welcome. And we'll be happy to even explain more on the training. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable.
Chair, maybe carrying a list of people who are should benefit, that is.
Okay, let us proceed, Mr. Obiero.
Sorry, Chair, if you allow, I want to respond to the concern raised by Honorable Oiko that, M&E is taking the function of what? The project management committees. It is not true. So M&E is not taking away their function. You see, the idea behind the project management committee was that is part of a project management cycle. And it was purposefully it was established for purposes of confirming, completion of projects before they are paid. So if you look at that intention, and the intention of M&E is different. M&E, what we are saying is that we need to monitor progress of our projects. We need to know if you have a health center that we started building last year, M&E should be coming and should be reporting back to us and telling us that ideally this project ought to have been completed in 7 weeks. So what is happening? Either it has stalled, or maybe there was no sufficient budgetary allocation, so that we take corrective measures and complete projects. But on the other angle, again, M&E is also supposed to be participatory. The team, M&E team working with the Project Monitoring and Evaluation Committee is still in order.
Chair, it looks we are not reading from the same script. Go to the ground now. When projects are being done, project management committee is not being formed. That is what is happening on the ground. And ask the roads department, they'll tell you there's a cabinet memo that was given that has done away with the project management committee. So that is what is on the ground. So get the facts right.
Thank you, Chair. I'll be very brief. I think he's made the point clear. We may not respond to that because ideally all projects in the county should be managed by the Public Works Department. So if we are not privy to the cabinet memo, that is taking away, the functions of project management. So that can be responded to by the Department of Roads.
Honorable members, let us move to part 2 of our agenda, and that is to interrogate the proposed sector priorities, programs, and projects in the KCAD P 2025-2026. And I'll give Chief Mr. Kode to do his presentation. I hope you will be a bit faster as we consider time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, in the financial year 2025-26, Kisumu County Annual Development Plan, the department identified sector priorities, programs, and projects in line with the departmental issues identified in the CIDP 3. In this financial year, the department will focus on the following strategic priorities. One,
sorry for interruption, Mr. Kode. Mr. Swaga, kindly approach the chair. Honorable Jackie Mokech, sorry. Proceed.
So in this financial year, the department will prioritize on the following strategic areas. 1, to improve public financial management. 2, to improve policy planning, budgeting, and M&D program outcomes. 3, to enhance service delivery through digitization and automation of government services. And 4, lakefront development cooperation. So details of the sector programs and projects. Under the first sector, under the first program, that is the public financial management, under the sub-program accounting services, our first priority will be to reduce the pending bill. And in this regard, we intend to reduce the pending bill from its current 100% status to 34.2%. And that will be based on the budget allocation for the pending bill, which is at 1 billion vis-a-vis the total development pending bill accrued as at the end of the financial year at a value of 1.5 billion. That's for the development. Second, we intend to improve debt collection, and under that, we will develop debt management strategy paper. We have currently one, and we also intend to develop one in this financial year. Under debt management report, currently we do not have any, we did not develop any, but we intend to prepare for one in each quarter in this financial year. Under efficient credit management, and this also...
Chief, can you repeat your statement on debt management?
Chair, we have two debt management here. Are you referring to the report or the debt management?
Yeah, you just mentioned something on debt management and you are not very clear.
Okay.
So I just wanted you to come out clearly on what you're saying so that we get it clearly and capture it.
Now, under debt management, the key performance indicator is the debt management strategy paper, of which in the previous financial year, we developed one. That is now the current base. And we intend to do the same, to achieve the same in this financial year. Under the debt management report developed, of which the key indicators are the numbers of a report, we have planned to produce 4 reports, each for each quarter. Under efficient credit management, currently we do not have a list of creditors, but as we are moving to accrual process, accrual basis of accounting, we have no current base, but in case they'll come up, then we'll have to achieve 100%. Under the improved financial reporting, we have produced 5 reports in the last financial year. That is 1 for each quarter and the final one. And we also plan to achieve the same in this financial year, and also to ensure that these reports are delivered to the relevant agencies within time. We also intend at least to produce 1 unqualified report in this financial year, and therefore in the last financial year we managed to achieve a qualified report, and you are hopeful that in this financial year we will upgrade and get an unqualified report. Under the sub-program asset management, with the key indicators of the logbook and the title deed transferred from the defunct local authorities and the national government to the county government of Kisumu. In the previous financial year, we did not transfer any, and therefore the balance is 0. But in this financial year, we are targeting to transfer 236 title deed. Logbooks. And then for the title deeds in the last financial year, we did not transfer any. In this financial year, we are planning to transfer 136. And the whole program will cost us around 6 million. And the last one under this program is the resource mobilization / revenue collection. In the last financial year, we managed to mobilize 1.4 billion as on source revenue, which forms the base. And in this financial year, we have placed our target at 4.1 billion. Chair, if you allow, I will invite my colleague, Chief Abiel, to present the program under policy planning, budget, and M&D.
Yes, Mr. Bureau, proceed.
Oh, thank you, Chair. We plan to do the budget, planning and budgetary cycle documents, that is the ADP, the county annual review and outlook paper, the county fiscal strategy paper, the annual development plan for 2026, 2027, and also budget implementation and review reports, 4 of them, quarterly, I mean. Under policy planning and budgeting, I think I've covered that. The last column indicates what we are planning to be allocation in the budget estimate. But this will be revised when we do the fiscal strategy paper. We'll now narrow it down to exactly what needs to be done. Yeah, they are in millions. Apart from that, in order to strengthen a county statistical system, we plan to do 2 things. We need a GIS-based data management system established. This is actually provided for under the functions of planning unit in the County Government Act. We've never had one. We want to attempt to do this. I had mentioned that we are currently doing the second Kisumu County statistical abstract. The first one was actually done, was fully supported by KNBS. But this one, technically, we are being supported by KNBS, but we are providing, facilitation or the budget for the same. So the GIS database management system, together with county statistical abstract. You remember this is 2025, 2026. Ideally, after producing that abstract, it should be updated yearly. So we'll be budgeting for it on a yearly basis. So the budget there we are proposing is 44 million. Then M&D, in order to strengthen M&D, we need to be generating reports from the CMS. We need to be producing county annual monitoring and evaluation reports, and also facilitating the monitoring and evaluation committees so that they become operational. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll ask the director ICT, then I'll come to the lakefront.
Just like you said, you directed that we note them down. At times you can even forget. So.
Yeah, I requested you to note them down. Yes. After a presentation, then we'll ask them.
Yeah, Madam, you can remember most of the members who are here noting them down are not now asking them. Some have just left because, it is quite long for you to wait and you will forget most of the issues.
So what is your suggestion on the book?
Kindly allow me to ask this question.
Okay, do it before you forget.
We are talking about asset register and such kind of things. You have very good ideas, which if put into practice, we will be somewhere. But it is unfortunate. Most of the audited reports here
in the assembly. We have been questioning a lot on asset register. There's a proper template provided for reporting. Your people have not been reporting on this. And now you are now trying to tell us that you have another way of putting all these things. It means, they are the generators of the inventory. The inventory belongs to them. And when it comes to reporting to the reporting template provided according to PMF Act, they don't do it. If they can't do this manual thing here now, how will they do that digital one? You have good ideas, but they're not put into practice. You have to do it down here. Now that when you elevate yourself now to another level, you can manage. But you are elevating this thing to another level, a way of now reporting. Somebody supporting you to report on your inventory and whatever you have, the assets and all those vehicles you have. But many a times when you come to the assembly, that thing is not reported, and it is an audit query each and every time. So we are failing to understand. Are you taking us for a ride, or it is just something which will be practical? Madam.
Okay,
what we don't want to forget, the matters raised by the two chief officers, finance and economic planning. So before the director ICT talks, let us raise some questions to them. Madam Speaker, the chief officer finance was talking about the pending bill, but he doesn't want to be loud on that. Tell us the total pending bills you have, loudly, and also, is the pending bill the same as the debt? Because we are talking of the debt policy. Are they the same things or they are different? And another matter, Madam Speaker, when they are talking of the matters of finance, we need to be very loud and clear, because it is the essence of everything. Without finance, all these other meetings will be irrelevant. So tell us the pending bills, the debt policy, and if they are the same.
We have just heard of Lakefront. Lakefront was allocated money meant for development purpose, and they reported zero development. What happened to the money given to that department? That I understand it is now a parastatal, but by then it was headed by a chief officer. We allocate money to an entity, no development, and that money is all used. You see, what is happening? You expect we give them more money or something like that?
Mr. Obiro, before you proceed, there's something I need to consult with Chief Officer. Yeah. As much as we are doing something here, other things also need to move from the other side. Yes, yeah. Approach the chair. Mr. Bir, I'll give you 2 minutes maybe to consult with Mr. Okode. Yeah, there's something urgent before I make any communication. Okay, are you through? Yeah.
Yes, Madam Chair, we have consulted, and if you allow me to address the first part of the question, and then the rest I'll delegate to my co-chief officer, as I live to attend to other pressing issues, only if you allow, Madam Chair, which requires my attention in the office.
Permission granted.
Okay. Now, on the pending bill, I indicated that in this financial year, the department is planning to reduce pending bill from a base of 100% to 34.2%. Now, this one is informed by the budget allocation for pending bill in this financial year, which is at 1 billion for the development pending bill vis-a-vis the total development pending bill as at the end of the last financial year at a cost of 1.5 billion. I think I've pronounced myself louder. And Madam Chair, if you allow me, I can now leave. I'll delegate everything to my co-chief officer.
Okay, Honorable Swaga, proceed.
Look at their plan. They are saying they have pending bills to the tune of 1.5 billion. Is that right, Chief?
That is right as at the end of the last financial year.
And Chair, we only gave them 900 million for the clearance of pending bill. And again, another misinformation is because when we talk of pending bills, I have a feeling that the department normally talks of development pending bills. And there's a very huge monster in the name of recurrent pending bill, which has grown very hugely. And I'm aware as we speak, they're approaching 600 million. I don't know what the department is saying regarding that. And why are they not giving us a lump sum figure of both recurrent and development?
Chief, respond to that before you leave.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And let me also thank Honorable Joachim for also bringing that the value of the current pending bill to light. Madam Chair, if you look at the way the budget is structured, there's only provision for development pending bill. And as he had echoed, it is true that the current pending bill value as at now stand at about 680 million. And it's a matter that had been discussed at the Treasury level. And we made some proposals, which I know will be tabled before the Budget Appropriation Committee, when we'll be discussing about the supplementary, so that we provide for this. It is a grave issue that you find some bills backdate to 2018, 2019 in the recurrent. And whenever you see the contractors visit the offices, especially my office, and they lament about these things, that at times I feel very touched. And if the House can take that bold step and ensure that the same is provided for in the supplementary, I'll be one of the happiest person in this world. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yeah, you are free to leave, Chief. You are free to leave. You can leave your team under the leadership of Mr. Obiero. So, Ms. Obiero, you take over and proceed. And we need to be a bit faster due to time. We started some minutes past 11 and it is past 2, I think. We are supposed to wind up. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. I'll try to be very brief, but allow me to comment on the issue of the pending bill. I think from planning perspective, it is a good insight for us that maybe for planning purposes, we need to separate so that we have targets for recurrent. We have, strategies for reducing recurrent and also development. But the way the template is put, it is assumed that it should be both recurrent and development. But maybe moving forward, we can separate the two. Allow me to respond to the concerns raised by Honorable Ouko. I'll start with the Kenya Lakefront Development Corporation. You must have noticed that when we review the plans, we don't review the previous financial year. There is 1 year lag. So what we are reporting in the ADP for 2025-2026 is 2023-2024, not 2024-2025, the current budget which we are. So what was allocated to Amawea, to Kenya Kisumu Lakefront Development Corporation, was 100 million for the ship whatever building, and this was to be transferred to the Kenya Shipyard Limited. So we cannot report on that because the implementation is still ongoing. So we don't take you for granted, And then secondly, what we have proposed in the Lakefront Development Corporation has proposed in the plan. Almost all the programs, they are supposed to, ideally, Lakefront should be mobilizing resources. So the idea behind this is that you put it in the plan so that if you have a partner that is interested, that partner will be referring to some plan, even if the county assembly does not appropriate funds for the same. Pending bills, my brother has talked about asset management, asset register. I think this is a matter that used to be raised, the auditors used to raise some queries on this, but that was before 2022-2023. I'm not aware about the observations in 2022-2023. One of the issues they were raising is that we don't update our registers, annually. Then secondly, in fact, the recommendation came from the auditors that we should have an automated, asset register. So that is a recommendation from the auditors. From where I stand, I hope we've made some strides, and we don't expect that issue to recur in the subsequent audit reports. That's my hope. Allow me to invite the Director ICT to take maybe 1 minute. Just
Mr. Biro, before you invite your colleague, I have one question. Last financial year, you proposed to collect 2.2. That was what you planned to collect, 2.2 billion. And you only managed to get 1.4. And this financial year, you plan to get 4.1. Do you think it is possible?
From planning perspective, you can overplan, then come up with a strategy in the fiscal strategy paper, reduce it. But what informed 4.1 is the fact that the current budget, the target is 3.8. As to whether, that was appropriated by the Assembly. If you look at that budget, the template of the budget estimates provides projections for 2 outer years. So if you look at that budget keenly, then you'll realize that what was projected by the, the revenue board is actually 4.1. So we took it, for planning purposes. We need now to be assured. That assurance can only come from the revenue board or from us if we get that information. That information can be, sourced from the revenue board. So they are very confident that they can raise 3.8, and that is what, is in the current budget. And the projection that they have provided is 4.1. So for us, we did not, take any figure out of, an imaginary or something like that, or arbitrary figure. We never wanted, because the question would be, if what supports maybe 5 or 2? We could even say it is now 2 billion. What supports that? So we are saying this was supported by the revenue board, that they can raise 3.8 million this year, but the projection for next financial year is 4.1.
Chair, through the chair, Electron is now a company. It is headed by a chief officer. Is it in order?
Yes, you are allowed.
I may not, I don't want to assume that I know everything. The difference between a corporation, from my stand, I know Kenya Kisumu Electron Development is a corporation, and it's an agency under the department. I actually should be responsible to finance. As to whether it is a company, I cannot talk about that. Whoever is heading that, ideally should be headed by a CEO. As to whether now it is being headed by a chief officer, that is not also beyond, I'm not responsible for, making such deployments. I may not respond with authority.
On the volume.
They mean the same thing. Rather tackled both. Sorry. A pending bill is what we owe to what we would call creditors or our contractors. That is a pending bill. But what the Act envisions in the PFM is that, okay, fine, you've declared a pending bill. So what? So the question is that should be addressed by the debt management strategy paper is, now, what are your plans on liquidating, the pending bills? So that is what's the difference. Maybe what we are a bit ambitious, because we are proposing that even as we do the debt management strategy paper, that is done once in a year, we should also now be reporting on quarterly basis that this was the strategy for 1 year. We've managed to reduce our debt by this much in the first quarter. Second, that is what we are proposing here, though we have never done it before.
Only one more question, because we need to move with speed. There's another committee who's supposed to join this, to start their deliberation here.
Thank you, Chair. Chief, by now, the year has ended 2023, 2024. Do you have a figure for pending bill for this financial year? I mean, that emanated from 2023, 2024. Do you have a pending bill?
Okay.
Right. Now, if I ask you to categorize or separate this pending bill, Ministry of Health as how much, water, and so on and so forth, you'll not be able to tell me. You'll tell me you go and find out, isn't it? The way the devolution works, or it's supposed to be a replica of the national government. Here, everything is domiciled in one department, the name of finance. What is so difficult in after the budget, let each and every one vote and manage. With that, we'll be able to analyze and find out from each and every department those who have absorbed properly. And as we are talking now, there's other departments that are being blamed to have not absorbed the money. Yet, the money was not availed for them. For example, we have a Department of Roads where we appropriated 96 million for road maintenance. They only got 36 million. They never got 50 something million. I don't know whether that is also a pending bill or what, but it was never committed, it was never given. But assuming that this money was given to each and every department, they would be answerable to it. What is so difficult, as it is happening in Migori, where each and every department is given their money upon budget appropriation and they handle it. It will be very easy for us to trace who are not performing, and these financial jargons you are putting us into is giving room for mismanagement and stealing of public funds. Let us be very simple. Because we're dealing with the area we do not understand. Let us be as simple as possible.
I have a solution. I have a suggestion.
Honorable Owuku, we need to move with speed.
That is what I'm
Yeah,
I'm
so
asking
allow him to respond and then we conclude.
Yeah, one, we have another committee. They are also waiting for us. Could you please?
Okay, Honorable, sorry, Mr. Obiero, can you answer that and then we conclude?
I would say that the proposal is in order. I think we can have a discussion around that with the officer who is in charge of pending bill, that's the Chief Officer Finance, and explore the possibility of going, doing it per department. If it has worked elsewhere, then why not try? We are not saying it can't be done. But allow me to ask the director and just say a word on this.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My proposal to the concern of Deputy Chair is that the Assembly is the policy-making organ. And if you propose that a department should control their finances or their funds as is done at the national level, I don't think that there will be any problem because you are the policy makers. And if you propose that, I think it can work. Thank you.
Honorable members and our visitors, I think we have come to the end of our discussion. Maybe before I release you, I'll give you an opportunity to say anything, parting short, just in case you have.
Oh, mine is to thank the committee, and I believe that the cordial relationship that we've been having will be maintained. But allow me to ask Dr. Kwama to give the parting shot.
Thank you, Chair. I think I'll be very brief and just want to thank everyone for the good discussion that we've had. I believe that is a learning process from both of us so that we make Kisumu a better place. The faults that we have, I believe that we've taken notes, and the much information that you need, we've also taken notes, and we believe that in the next discussions that we'll be having, I think we'll be able to take care of a few of the areas that you've highlighted. Otherwise, from our end, we just want to thank the whole team, all the members who participated, and we hope for the best in the near future. Thank you.
Yes, on behalf of this committee, I want to take this opportunity to thank you all for the good discussion you have just had. May the Almighty God bless you as you leave this place. And once again, thank you. Honorable members, we do not have any other business before this committee. Therefore, the meeting stands adjourned. Further notice. Honorable Oko. Where do